So this is a really cool talk. So Courtney is a senior account executive with Google, and our friend Megan here is the director of marketing for Karmaloop. I hope you guys all know what Karmaloop is. It's very cool. Karmaloop is an amazing pure play e-commerce retailer of streetwear. So I will hand things over to these guys and tell you all about how YouTube can drive sales and brand awareness.
Thanks so much for the introduction, and we're really excited to be here today. I'm from the YouTube side and have actually been working with Karmaloop for a number of years, and they're actually one of the most innovative brands when it comes to video, and really developing not only a video channel on YouTube that consumers are really going to and engaging with the content, but it's also driving sales on their website. Which is a mix that a lot of brands are aspiring to do. And we're lucky today to have Megan joining us to talk a little bit about their strategy and how they've done that. For those of you who aren't aware of what Karmaloop is, they are a streetwear e-tailer. They were founded about 13 years ago right here in Boston and are still headquartered in the Back Bay. They drive about $200 million in revenue each year. And they do that by reaching one of the most challenging target audiences to connect with, the 18 to 24-year-old. Megan, we'd love to first, before we dive into your video strategy, just hear a little bit more about your brand and your role at Karmaloop.
Absolutely. Sorry, I apologize. We were going to stand, but we've got baby MacConnell over here, and I didn't wear my flats, so I'm wearing heels. So I said, let's sit. So I hope everybody can hear us and see us okay. So I'm Megan Knisely. I've been at Karmaloop.com for a little over 2 years. I've been managing the marketing team for almost a year now. There's 10 people on our marketing team, and it encapsulates acquisition marketing, retention marketing, and lifestyle marketing. So for anybody, again, who doesn't know Karmaloop, we are the biggest streetwear retailer in the world. We don't really like to say that we have any competitors because we like to think of ourselves as a different entity online. But if you had to compare us to somebody, I would say a PacSun, Dr. J's, Urban Outfitters. Those types of retailers that have a little bit more of the streetwear, a little bit more of the lifestyle component. The interesting thing about Karmaloop too is that we market predominantly to young men. So our male-female split is about 65-35, which is again something that's a little bit different than most other e-commerce retailers that you might find. My role specifically is to really manage the traffic that comes into Karmaloop. So we manage the money, we spend all the money, and bringing in as much traffic as we possibly can. And my team works very closely with our merchandising teams, our planning teams, our creative directors, as well as the Karmaloop TV team. So Karmaloop TV does have its own team. They're really the ones who are controlling most of the YouTube content. And there's a couple of them headquartered here in Boston. We do have studios here in Boston at our office, right at the intersection of Arlington and Boylston. So if you're ever in the area, feel free to stop by. It's a very zany place. And we also have a small office in New York City where we have about 10 guys down there that are also creating original YouTube content. Most of them are from Vice. So it's pretty hilarious at times, and Courtney and I were talking about it, and we were saying, are there any videos that you want to show? And I encourage all of you in your own time to check out Karmaloop TV's YouTube station, but I don't know, it's a little bit PG-13, maybe R, maybe a little bit after that as well, so I don't know if it's appropriate for this situation here, but we've got a lot of cool content on there. We've got about 50,000 subscribers and about 1,300 videos on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say after the session, spend some time looking at their channel on YouTube. They launched. It was a couple of years ago now, about 3 years ago. You were really one of the early movers into the space, and with that, it's definitely paid off with the number of subscribers that they now have. And the unique thing when we look at their channel is that their video content is really focused on lifestyle. It doesn't have a direct commercial intent. A lot of e-tailers out there are focusing on producing video content that features products and shows features of products, whereas yours definitely has a very different spin. Some of it, definitely to connect with that young male audience, is what some of us might consider a little edgy. But it's been incredibly successful. That young male audience comes back to this channel week after week to engage with this content. It is a TV channel for them. So they've done definitely one of the most challenging pieces, which is getting a core consumer audience that's coming back week after week to engage. But then one step further, it's actually driving sales on Karmaloop.com. Megan, do you mind just talking a little bit more specifically about your video strategy and sort of how it's evolved?
Absolutely. So, when it comes to video strategy, there's a couple of areas that we're really looking at. It's either, bringing in more subscribers to the YouTube channel. So with that, what we're really looking to do is how are we going to get people to our YouTube channel? So we work with a lot of celebrities. As a lifestyle brand, we work with a ton of hip hop artists. Pharrell Williams was actually the creative director of Karmaloop TV a couple of years ago. He was heavily involved, and so just having that name. Think about it, especially now. He just won a Grammy and wore the weirdest hat ever to the Grammys, and so people are constantly searching for him. So we thought, how do we capitalize off of all of these great partnerships that we have? How do we get people to learn more about Karmaloop? And people either remind our customers who we already have that, oh yeah, Karmaloop's awesome, I should go shop there. Or if they don't know about Karmaloop, well, they're associated with Pharrell Williams and he's awesome and he has great style, so I've got to go check this thing out. So, when we look at sales, when we look at the strategy, first of all, it's really about how do we capitalize off of the cool factor, getting people excited and involved. So working with the celebrities, working with people who are highly searched, highly interesting, and incorporating them into our channel. The second of all is, even though it's not really the focus of our Karmaloop TV channel, but we do focus on brands and products. And instead of having there are a couple of programs that are a little bit more direct sales focused. We do have some, check out these products, check out, this line of product, but we do a lot of things around our brands and really getting our customers to understand Karmaloop, why we choose to sell the brands that we sell. So we do behind the brands. We speak to the people who have created the brands and give the story behind it, because what we found is that when our customers learn, one of our popular brands is this brand called Staple. I don't know if anybody here is familiar with Staple. It's called the Pigeon brand. All of their product has pigeons on it, and they actually have pigeon poop printed on the back of your shirt. So it's supposed to be there. So, and the guy who created it, his name is Jeff Staple, and he has a really cool story as to why he created the brand and why he has the pigeon poop on every shirt. And so telling that story, letting our customers know this is why Staple's cool and this is why we carry it, ends up bringing in even more brand evangelists. It ends up bringing them back without even having a hard sales message, without saying, shop now, check out this collection. It's just kind of telling people about how Karmaloop is and why we carry the brands. So there's that component to things as well. And then, and then our team is also very, very talented. And so the third component that we look to is actually working with strategic partnerships and also going outside of even the branding and creating, that type of video content. We also create a ton of music videos for people. So our most recent announcement is that we actually just produced one of the music videos off of Beyonce's new album. So the No Angel music video was produced by the Karmaloop TV crew. And so that's another piece of Karmaloop TV that's evolving and changing, and something that we're looking to also increase, because again, it's not necessarily driving sales immediately right then. We're not saying shop now, shop Beyonce's look. It's a matter of, it's very much very top of the funnel. It's branding. You look at the Beyonce video and it says produced by Karmaloop TV. If people know Karmaloop, they say, wow, this is a really cool thing. If you don't know Karmaloop, you want to go check it out, because who doesn't want to be Beyonce? And our top viewed music video, our top viewed Karmaloop TV produced video is Diplo. If anybody is familiar with electro dance music, he's a really cool DJ. His music video, Express Yourself, was also produced by Karmaloop TV, and that's one that I highly suggest everybody check out. It's kind of where some of the twerking revolution started a couple of years ago, and it's a very colorful and interesting music video.
Great. So now we know where Miley got her inspiration.
Absolutely. From me.
So you definitely have a large variety of videos on your channel, and there's easy metrics to look at, like views and subscribers. What do you consider success for a video? What are some of the videos, as you look back, that have been most successful and that Karmaloop has been most excited about?
You know, it's in terms of gauging success for video, it's kind of the holy grail, right? I would love to be able to, you know, measure view throughs and all of those different areas, but unfortunately we just haven't gotten to that point quite yet. But it really depends on what the video content and what we're really trying to achieve. So for something like a music video, we're trying to get as much awareness as possible. We're trying to get views. And you know, the more views we get, the more successful it is. I think in terms of some of our other documentaries, some of the other more product-focused video, those we're really looking for not only the views, but really the clicks. And in terms of actually gauging how successful those videos are, we always, you know, we look at all of the typical metrics, your views, your clicks, your sales, you know, that are coming directly from that. But then we also are measuring a variety of other areas. You know, we take a look, we work with, again, a lot of celebrities. So for example, we've been working a lot with Karrueche Tran, who's a celebrity stylist and also Chris Brown's girlfriend. And she, you know, she's kind of a celebrity it girl right now. And she has a huge following in Los Angeles. And so when we do videos with Karrueche, they get, you know, they might get 20,000, 30,000 views. But when we start diving into our data geographically, we can actually see upticks in the Los Angeles area in our women's business. So we're able to also discern from just kind of a little bit of a ragtag analytics, taking a look at geographics, taking a look at the specific product that the people are wearing, because sometimes it's a matter of people just saying, well, she's promoting. I'll give an example of a video is Karrueche. We had her a big pile of clothes on the ground, and she went through and she just picked things up and put them on, and we put some cute music to it. The video got like 50,000 views. And what we ended up doing was measuring, okay, of the product that she put on and she showcased, did sales uptick? And we ended up seeing, we were able to see that we saw an uptick in the specific brands that she was wearing and the specific product that she was wearing. It wasn't necessarily coming directly through the video. People weren't, we don't do the shoppable video. We've tried it in the past and it wasn't successful for us. So what we've ended up seeing is kind of going around that. And again, it's the soft sales message. It's Karrueche showing you her style. It's showing you what she thinks is cool, but she's not saying, go to Karmaloop and shop this right now. This is my reverse cat shirt, and it's $49.99 on Karmaloop.com. You know, it's her showcasing the style. This is how I wear it. This is how I dress, and then we can see it on the back end in terms of the sales. So that's really what our focus is for our YouTube channel. Again, we do have some shows that are more directly tied to. This is our Palladium collaboration boot, shopping on Karmaloop. But a lot of our content is becoming a little bit more of a soft sales message, because at the end of the day, we know that the millennials, 18 to 24-year-olds, they're looking for us to tell them what's cool. They're looking for us to tell them, this is how you want to dress. This is how you want to look. And so being that aspirational, showing them, this is how you pair this shirt with this skirt and these tights and these shoes, ends up driving more sales than us actually telling them, here's this shirt, shop now. I think that, you know, especially for us, we go after the kids, that we go after the tastemakers, we go after the thought leaders. And so, you know, they don't want to be sold. We see a lot of our core Karmaloop audience actually almost revolting against the typical marketing tactics, you know, so we have to kind of go around that and figure out how do we subliminally message them and to engage them and get them wanting to come to Karmaloop. So that's something that we're still experimenting with this year and are trying to figure out, you know, that special sauce, I'd say. But we've definitely found that the soft sales message and really just kind of curating content is much more beneficial.
That's great. And I think what you touched upon of measuring that impact on sales is the holy grail that many people in this room are trying to achieve. So you touched upon how you'll do it with looking at products and if there's an uptick in sales for that specific product. Is there anything else you look at from a metrics side, from an analytics side, in connecting that video to an actual sale on Karmaloop? Because you guys have actually been able to back out and estimate how much you're actually driving from videos for sales on Karmaloop.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and not only were we looking at the products that are sold, but we're also looking at, you know, just organic growth within. So we also look at, you know, sometimes when you're watching a YouTube video, you might come back days later. So, and it's not always through that same channel. So we're looking also at direct and organic search volume. We're also looking at just organic upticks in traffic around the times that we're launching these videos. Typically, especially if it's a big video that we do a big push for, we can actually identify the traffic increase that's coming off of that, not necessarily through a specific channel, not clicking through YouTube, but just by looking at the patterns and trends of our overall traffic and understanding and seeing those upticks in times. And especially, and typically it's always an uptick. Karmaloop is a little bit different, obviously. We market to 18 to 24-year-olds. We're really big on the West Coast, and so our largest traffic times are actually between like 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. And so typically, and that's also the times that we're seeing a lot of engagement in terms of YouTube. You know, it's kids late night, maybe they've been out drinking, they're watching YouTube videos, or it's like, check this thing out. And so we're also able to see that uptick in traffic, typically at different times in the day than we would.
That's great. You've invested a lot in your Karmaloop TV channel, and you actually, as you said, you have about 30 people that are working in-house just creating content for your YouTube channel. What would you say is your media mix when you think about how video fits in with other advertising channels, and how much do you think you're allocating to video these days?
Yeah, so, you know, I wish that I could say video is 50% of our media mix, but it's still, you know, an area I think that we've definitely accomplished a lot, but we definitely want to accomplish more, especially in 2014. And so in terms of our overall media mix, it's definitely on the lower end. It's probably somewhere between, you know, around 10 to 15%. However, that is something that we're looking to greatly increase this year. I was saying earlier that I didn't realize any of the Hybris folks were here. I don't know if any of them are in this room, but we actually are going to be working with Hybris this year and migrating over to their platform. Karmaloop is on a homegrown e-commerce platform and are making the move. And with that change, with the restructuring of our site, you'll be seeing a new face of Karmaloop in the next couple of months. We're going to be doing a lot of testing and launching a new site in the summertime. And with all of that, we are looking to incorporate a lot more content into our actual shopping experience. Right now, Karmaloop has a great amount of content, but it's kind of all siloed right now. We have our new content site called Guru. Again, I check it out. It's very Vice-esque. Really funny content, really great stuff on there. That's kind of our Karmaloop blog right now. We're working on integrating that content more into karmaloop.com, onto the homepage, into the actual shopping experience. Ideally, our product detail pages will have product shots, they'll have social content, they'll have a blog article that's been written about that specific product. It will have a video, whether it's a celebrity talking about that brand, whether it's behind the brand piece, whether it's maybe a video that actually happens to feature that piece. We're looking to incorporate as much content as we possibly can this year, and that's something that, so with that said, we're looking for our media piece to greatly increase, and we're really looking to put much more of a focus on our YouTube content specifically.
Great. I think you guys have been really advanced in this space and definitely an early mover. I think there are probably a lot of folks in this room that are just in the process of launching their video strategy and just getting their channels up and live. Looking back over the last couple of years, what are some of the lessons you've learned? What have you tried? What advice would you give to the room with sort of being an early mover in this space?
Yeah, absolutely. So Karmaloop has tried everything under the sun. We're like Samantha Jones from Sex and the City. We're a trisexual. We'll try everything once. You know, Karmaloop was, again, one of the early adopters of YouTube, and back in the day, we were actually looking to create Karmaloop TV as a actual television channel. That's kind of changed. We're really focusing on e-com right now and perfecting that, and, you know, getting Karmaloop to be much more of a household name. I think we're very well known in our niche. We're very well known in the Boston area, hopefully, fingers crossed. But, you know, we're really looking to grow and become like an Urban Outfitters, or, you know, somebody who's very a household name. I'd say that some of our biggest challenges, I think that we in the past have actually tried to achieve that direct sales component that everybody is looking for. Everybody wants to be able to say, YouTube, you know, we put up a video, we get 50,000 clicks from it, and we're driving $1 million in revenue from that one video. And what we found through testing, you know, incorporating clickable content and incorporating, you know, more sales-driven content is that's not what people want. That's not what people really want from YouTube. What they want to see is their favorite celebrity. They want to see what's cool. They want somebody to tell them how to wear something. They want somebody to tell them why they like this product. I haven't mentioned them yet, but outside of Karmaloop TV and our actual channel, we also work with a lot of other YouTube, I guess, celebrities, quote unquote. I don't know if you guys are familiar with YouTube haulers. For anybody who's not, it's essentially these people have millions of subscribers, and basically they haul in products from their favorite stores, and they sit and they do almost like an open the box unveiling and tell you, this is my outfit from Karmaloop. I just got it. I spent less than $100 on it, and I got this shirt, my skirt, and my tights. And the reason why I like my shirt is because it's really soft and it's comfortable, and the skirt fits really well. And they go into detail about the product. And this is also an area that we've been exploring with working with these haulers to promote Karmaloop content, and we're seeing huge success with it. It's again, we also have the Karmaloop rep team. It's 150,000 brand evangelists that are out there repping for Karmaloop on the streets every day. They're promoting us through social media. They're handing out flyers. I mean, I see kids that are graffitiing up their lockers with their Karmaloop rep codes. We also have those brand evangelists that are constantly promoting content on YouTube for us as well. So, it's really about finding those people, the tastemakers, the inspirational people that people want, that your customer really wants to hear from and wants to learn from. I think that when it's coming from us, it's too much of people think that we're just trying to sell them, especially 18 to 24-year-olds. They don't want mom and dad telling them what they should be doing. They want their cool friend. They want Juicy J and Kanye West and Jay-Z telling them what's cool and what they want to buy. So I think we invested a lot of money and a lot of time into trying to make Karmaloop TV more sales driven, and what we've really found through our experience is that the sales will come. You don't need to force it. It's much better to focus on the lifestyle component, on who are the tastemakers in your industry, who are the people that your customers want to hear from, what do they want to learn from you, and working and incorporating that into your YouTube strategy. So for us, we really look at YouTube as a very top of the funnel, as a very high level kind of brand awareness type of a channel versus something that is going to be direct sales and direct clicks.
That's great. And I think, as marketers, so many of us look at a digital channel like video and want to automatically just directly correlate it to sales, because that's just what we do in the digital space. So I think a reminder that video really is about branding, and using it as Karmaloop has done, of telling your brand story and connecting on a lifestyle level is the right strategy to take. And if you believe it, sales will come. Just not connecting it with that direct.
Oh my gosh, do you guys hate us that much?
Guess our time is up. So it sounds like, looking forward for the next couple of years in video, that one of your objectives will be really breaking down those silos, starting to really integrate your video content more onto Karmaloop. What else do you guys have planned for the next couple of years? Any big changes in the video area? Other than, you continue to just come out with really unique content, but anything else for the next couple of years?
You're asking me for all of our secrets.
I know, I am asking for the secret sauce.
So, we're continuing to evolve our Karmaloop TV channel. One area that I also haven't mentioned yet is we do a lot of live stream events. I don't know if anybody here has ever checked them out. We call them freakathons, or essentially it's a 24-hour, the original ones were 24 hours. We've now kept them more to an 8 to 12-hour thing, because towards the end they get real freaky. And essentially, we live stream an event where we bring in musical artists. So we actually I think the newest launch on the Karmaloop TV channel is actually a Bone Thugs and Harmony video. We had Bone Thugs and Harmony in our office a couple of weeks ago. They performed about 8 songs on air, live stream style. We have a slew. We also had at that specific event, we had Clinton Sparks, we had Killer Mike, we had Chanel West Coast, we had Chris Webby, we had a bunch of, the hip-hop artists, the artists that speak to our demo, come do musical performances at our office, and then we also gave away $25,000 worth of Karmaloop gift codes. in what we call, essentially what we do is we drop a code on Twitter, and it's the first person who uses it gets to use it. So it's kind of like a flock to win type of situation. We communicate with our customers all via Twitter. We post funny questions, we post contests, drop codes, and for that 12-hour period, we're live streaming it on Karmaloop.com, and then the whole thing is available on YouTube afterwards. So that's one of the components of our Karmaloop marketing mix that we're looking to expand upon this year. Typically, we only do them around the holidays and maybe sporadically 1 or 2 other times throughout the year. We're looking to actually make it something that's more consistent on Karmaloop. So kind of like first Thursdays down at Soho Market, you can go down and all the galleries are going to be open. It's going to be something like that where the third Thursday of every month you can tune into Karmaloop and we'll be doing a freakathon for 8 hours. And so that's one of the areas that we're really looking to increase upon, again, to bring more people into YouTube, to get them more engaged. We're also looking to, again, increase the musicians that we're working with and working on more music video content, getting that out there because we've seen such huge success with that. We have, between all of our musical artists, I think we have over 10 million views on our YouTube videos. Also really working with our brands more and incorporating more regular documentaries on behind the brands. Why are you making this product? Because we've seen really great success with that. And then continuing to evolve, we have a slew of Karmaloop celebrities at our offices that each have their own show. So we have Frank the Butcher, who works very closely with our hip-hop streetwear art collaborations. We have Carissa Rossi, who hosts That Life, who works with more of the rappers and kind of underground, behind-the-scenes, up-and-comers, and working on developing some of those other shows that really kind of encapsulate who Karmaloop is, what we do, and speaking to the brand and the lifestyle specifically.
That's great. And for any of you who have not checked out a Karmaloop Freakathon, you should definitely take a look at it. As marketers, it's definitely inspiration for pushing the envelope and really understanding who
the recaps are rated R plus, but they're
plus definitely. Yeah. But I commend you because you understand who your target audience is and how they want to connect with you. So that's a great place to go for a little bit of inspiration as to a brand that's really pushing the envelope. We have just a couple of minutes left. I just want to open it up to any questions that anybody might have.
Yeah, that's a great question. So just for anybody who didn't hear, she had asked, what are we doing to actually promote the videos? So it depends on the video itself. Some of them go up on YouTube and are kind of there to get organic growth. But a lot of the time what we're doing is putting together a rollout plan. Karmaloop has a very large social media presence. We have over 1 million Facebook followers and about over 500,000 Twitter. And so what we typically do is utilize our social channels to promote our video content. We do also promote it through email and are in the process of actually creating, because Karmaloop does have so much content, we're in the process of creating what we call Karmaloop the Karmaloop fam. We call people who are kind of into the Karmaloop lifestyle part of the Loop Life. So we're actually in the process of putting together a Loop Life newsletter that incorporates our video of the week, our favorite blog article of the week, our favorite Instagram selfies, our favorite Facebook posts, that type of thing. And that's going to be a vehicle for us promoting this video content. But in terms of paid media dollars, we have done some. We actually have seen some great success with it. Again, for any of you who if you work with celebrities or have the opportunity to work with celebrities, we've seen great success. I'll give you an example. We were the sole online seller of A$AP Rocky's tour merch, and we put together a YouTube video of him just shouting out Karmaloop, shouting out the Loop Life, and ran that as a paid advertisement on YouTube and saw like a 10-to-1 ROI on it. So we do put some advertising dollars behind it when it makes sense, but a lot of it is more organic and unpaid. But we are utilizing the full breadth of our marketing channels. I mean, we even through our affiliate program, we have 15,000 affiliates, and we have one of our affiliates is called Hail Mary Jane. And so anytime that we have something that would relate to them, and especially video content, we promote that through our affiliate channel. And so it's really about pinpointing and identifying where you can find your target audience, but it doesn't necessarily involve dollars.
Great. I think we have time for one more question. Anybody else?
Thank you. Megan, how do you actually separate your brainstorming ideas to actually doing something? Like, what's the internal discussion that has 5 or 6 things on the wall, and you say they're all crazy, they're all great, we're going to do this one first? What's the process?
It's always the craziest one. We always, so I'll tell you, our Karmaloop TV team, I mean, it's funny. People are like, where's the Karmaloop offices? And I say, oh, we're at the intersection of Arlington and Boylston. They go, that's where you guys are? I walk by there all the time, and I'm always wondering, what is here? I mean, when I say that our office is a little zany, it's a little zany. And I mean, the guy who heads up our Karmaloop TV team, he's actually an internet celebrity in his own right. His name is Lil Internet. You should check him out online. He invented this C-punk movement, if anybody's familiar with that. It's essentially ravers that dress up like they just walked out of the ocean. They have like barnacles and kelp. But, you know, he's really spearheading a lot of the ideas. And really, when we take a look at when we're trying to figure out what we're going to promote, it's always the zaniest, it's the craziest, it's I'll give you an example. So the Freakathon was actually imagined by our CEO, Greg Selko, who was here last year. So I'm sure some of you are probably familiar with him and have heard him speak. And if you haven't, I highly suggest it. He's a very charismatic and memorable guy. And it was his brainchild to have almost like a variety show for 24 hours. And we said, Greg, you're crazy. And he goes, I don't want it only at that. I want you to get hip-hop music artists. He's like, I want you to go and find cybercam girls. I swear to God to you, I went to the Squire in Revere to amateur night, and I found us our cam girls for the last one. Like, you know, it's the crazier the idea, the better it is, because when you're marketing to 18 to 24-year-olds, you got to get into their mindset. What do they want? They want something crazy, and at the end of the day, that's what's going to get people talking. That's what's going to get people going to your video. You know, I've watched that new Budweiser commercial with the puppy and the horse like 17 times, and it's adorable and it's cute. But the thing that it keeps me going back is I keep on saying, but this is Budweiser. Like, what does this even have to do with them? And the thing is, it's totally outside of what they typically do. You know, it's not a Budweiser frog. It's not like a hot girl. It's something that's completely different. And I think that's what people are really looking for, and that's what's going to get you the engagement that you want.
And I think I'd say, having partnered with you for a number of years, you guys are incredibly quick to move. There is no time spent, you know, debating and testing and doing internal reviews. They act incredibly quickly. I mean, literally, we can be meeting with you at 4 o'clock on, you know, a Friday afternoon, and by 7 o'clock, something will be done. And that speed and that willingness to test in the space, rather than trying to test with a group or on a smaller scale, I think that that's really a unique thing as a marketer as well.
Yeah, just, you know, it's all also about, you know, figuring out the trends and again, acting quickly. For example, so we play a game at our Freakathons that's called Find Ja Rule. And we have a board that has 30 pictures of people with Post-its over them, and there's 7 pictures of Ja Rule. And the people call in and they guess what number, and if they find Ja Rule, they get a gift code. We actually got it trending on Twitter within the U.S. last November. We noticed it in the morning. We started to get it trending at about 3 a.m. We noticed it the following morning, and we said, how can we capitalize on this? What can we do to keep this going? We kept the hashtag trending all day long, and we ended up doing an edition of our Freakathon that night that was just a Find Ja Rule edition. Ja Rule tweeted back at us. We now work with him. We're really like, he's like one of our Karmaloop family at this point. And it was all about identifying what's happening in the space that we can work off of. So, you know, like right now we're putting together some campaigns around the Super Bowl, not because like we're big into the Broncos or the Seahawks, but because both of those states have legalized marijuana. And so we're talking about what is your Super Bowl, you know, and it's all about identifying what does your customer want and what drives them. And so finding those types of things is what we found to be the most engaging and best performing when it comes to our YouTube specifically.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Megan.